Hello, welcome to the APMA podcast. As you can see, and probably hear shortly, I'm with Dan, but we don't have Jordan currently. He's having some internet issues, which is why we're slightly late. I was waiting for him, but he said he's going to join when he's able to sort those issues out. Let's hope they're not too lengthy. But welcome, Dan, back to your first episode
Been a
in
while, hasn't it?
2024.
Yeah, man. It's been ages.
Has felt like a hot minute.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a while.
I
So,
mean,
what have you been doing?
what have I been doing? Bit of working, bit of holiday, bit of a new venture. Moved out of the other bedroom. That
Yeah.
is now obviously I'm in this temporary position, which is in my bedroom. Uh, so yeah, I'm a little bit close to the shelf for my liking, a bit in the corner, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will change hopefully by next week. Get it. I'll probably set up in the living room. I think um,
Nice.
the spare room or the room I was in has been modified to a beauty room.
That's
Like
been
semi
commended.
permanent makeup for what my
Yeah.
missus is doing, which is cool.
Nice.
So yeah, so little temporary position here. Yeah, holiday, Christmas. I went to Mexico, which was cool. But it wasn't, as we discussed just before coming on the pod, it
Yeah.
wasn't the greatest. It was a bit tainted because I was ill.
Yeah.
I got COVID before I went, so traveling was horrible. I got food poisoning over there for one day, and
Oh,
then we all got ill on the way back. It's a long old trek, it's like 24 hours door to door with a stop off in Dallas. So yeah, the whole thing, like, not to be ungrateful because it's like, going away at Christmas and Mexico and being on the beach is amazing.
yeah.
But just one of those ones like it was a classic, like, one of those holidays, a bit like New Year, New Year when you're like, "New Year's gonna be sick," like New Year's, and it's just always overrated. It's always
Yeah.
a bit too expensive, and it just never pans out the way you want it to, and that kind of happened with this holiday. But the kids enjoyed it, I got some good weather over there, so I'm not the food was pretty. It was like a five-star hotel,
Oh,
and I'm not a snob at all, like, literally, you can go you could go down to 3-star or whatever, and it's fine, and it was just but it'd probably be if they actually got rated properly, maybe like a 2. Oh, we did read some stuff on there, like, they put fake reviews on and, like, there's, like, rusty bits in the room, rusty stuff, and, yeah, it was just
typical 5-star then, really.
yeah, 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 it was fun it was interesting,
How
yeah.
did you land on going to Mexico? Was it always somewhere you wanted to go over Christmas or at all, or
Yeah, I'd always wanted to go. With the kids being young, we've always, like, ventured a bit further afield. Like, we
Yeah,
kind of started off as you do when they're really young, you, like, go to Spain,
yeah,
and then as they get kind of, like, past 3 or 4, you start venturing out a bit further, um, and, like, yeah, so we've been away a few times at Christmas, which has always been really good, um, get a bit of, like, sun over the cold periods, do like Christmas at home as well, but yeah, the kids do like going away, but yeah, like, we had that on the radar for a while, and we paid a lot of money for it. My advice is, I think if you're traveling as a couple, it'd be different. You got a bit more flexibility, but we were just on the same resort, family thing, and with that, you could have gone anywhere. Like, you'd have been better off for us, probably better off going to, like, Gran Canaria and saving a bunch of money.
yeah, a
Probably
lot of
wouldn't
money.
be less, yeah. So it was like we paid premium money. But yeah, like I say, ticked it off, like, always somewhere I'd wanted to go. And it probably would have been different if it's just like not a family holiday.
Yeah,
If you're a couple, but you could probably. We went out a couple of times. We did go to, like, a big adventure park, which was cool. Because the dollar as well, because the pound's so shit compared to the dollar,
yeah,
and the dollar, everything's dollars over there. Like, it was well expensive. I thought Mexico would be like dirt cheap. Um, But for the adventure park, I mean, it was big and it was good, but it cost us 440 quid.
Jesus,
£440 in Mexico for 2 adults and 2 children.
wow,
So, like, It's a lot of
It's
money,
over
isn't it?
100 quid each.
Yeah. I got there and I was like, "Fuck, Mexicans are balling," and it was rammed. It was, like, so busy. I was just yeah, like, when you're just a bit taken back, you're like, "God, this is." I just always thought Mexico was dirt cheap just from, like, American films and stuff. I think it was in the past, and I think it's still actually relative to the dollar, it's still not too bad, but because the pound is now creeping close to the dollar, um,
Yeah,
it probably for Americans, it would be half of that ish, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, 220 or whatever, it's not too bad."
yeah.
Um, but yeah, interesting place.
'Cause you mentioned that you got, food poisoning there.
Mm.
Were you a fan of, like, Mexican food before
I
you
don't
went, or
I
was
don't
it just
mind it, yeah, I love a burrito, mate. I have a
yeah,
yeah, I do, I don't mind having my spice and that, and I've travelled a fair bit, so I don't mind food. I don't know where it come from, but luckily it was a 24-hour thing. It was just in and out. But
nice.
it just literally was like, yeah, everything come out. Like I was being sick, and obviously the other end. Yeah. So, but yeah, luckily it was a 24-hour thing.
I
I
mean,
say food
if you're
poisoning.
gonna get it, you want it to be a 24-hour thing. You don't
Yeah,
want it for long,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's kinda good that it just goes straight through you.
yeah. I think maybe like it's probably a bit harsh saying food poisoning. Maybe it was a bit of a I don't know, like sometimes you just get something that doesn't agree with you. And I'd already been ill, so my immune system's probably down. So it's probably just
Right, yeah,
my body flushing out. But like I say, the we've done a few package holidays and stuff, and the food is just like it's the same every night. The same. It was just like yeah, it just wasn't great. It didn't really. No one really cared. Like usually you go away to these places and like they got a little bit of pride or whatever. But yeah, it was
yeah,
just weird.
wow,
My missus ended up arguing with one of the, so when I was ill, so my daughter was also ill, she had a cough,
right,
and she was feeling ill and a bit sick that night, so she stayed with me, so my missus and my other daughter went to the canteen. So my missus was like, "I'll grab some food for, the little one and bring it back." I was like, "I don't wanna eat," so she grabbed some food in a little plate
yeah.
and then walked out with it, and then she got to the end, um and the guy wouldn't let her go. He, like, grabbed the plate off her and was like,
Oh,
"No." And he pulled it off her, and she was like, "My
wow,
daughter's ill, and he was like, "You not take the plate." And it was just, yeah, really strange. Like, it's a really and then she went to the reception woman, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you can take the food, but you have to put it in, paper cups."
oh,
She had, like, 3 paper cups. Really, like, not the type of thing you expect off, like, and it wasn't like we weren't trying to be awkward, like, our daughter was ill, like, we just wanted to take some
yeah.
food back.
It's a
Yeah,
rather
really
simple request, to be honest.
yeah, very bizarre, mate, very bizarre. Consider all your food's free, and it's like, what we're gonna do with the plate? Like,
Yeah,
obviously, it'll be in the room, it gets room service, so, like, we'll either bring it back or someone can just grab it and take it back.
yeah,
It's not a ma considering the logistics of the hotel, it's not a big drama. If you're doing it every night or whatever, or taking the piss, but, like, yeah,
yeah.
funny place. But, yeah, we had a big argument with her.
Yeah, you do find that sometimes that you go to these so-called five-star, like, places. Not that I've been to many in my life, but, there's been a few times where I've been to places that have this reputation of being, like, really highly rated, and the staff there just couldn't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
they don't care. Whereas you could go to somewhere far cheaper and they can't do enough for you. It's just such
Yeah,
a
yeah,
weird
yeah. Yeah, it's a
toss-up.
weird yeah, I think you're like no, I think you find when you go to like, places like in the UK or whatever that are like family owned or like a little and like you said, they'll just bend over backwards and it's like
Yeah,
and then, they're not even like I say, don't even look for that. But when you're going abroad on holiday, it's a metric to measure, I guess. And it's like we didn't go, it was just happened to be a 5 star. Like we've been at 3 stars and they've been loads better. We don't like pick based on that. It was just funny that that's what they had, and it was probably one of the worst places we've been
yeah,
in regard to like the beach was beautiful, and the location was beautiful, but in regard to like yeah, like customer service, it was and we're quite chilled anyway. I mean, it sounds like being like a in pre Maradona, but we're just very
yeah.
like we're very. don't you know, and I've never ever left a review or complained or anything on any
No.
holiday. 'Cause usually you don't have anything to worry about. Like, you got the beach, you got food. I was in the queue. It was mad. I think it was Christmas Day, actually. I was in the queuing to get a drink. I was proper chilled, like, just looking at out to the sea, and, it was a big queue, so I queued for about 20 minutes, and then, like,
Right.
the guy, uh there was one guy there and another guy around, and he's like he'd serve someone. So I walked round to the other guy, and he was
Yeah.
like, been there 20 minutes waiting, and then he was like, "You gotta go in the queue." I was like, "I have been in the queue, I've just walked round." He's like, "No, you haven't." I was like, "Mate, I have." I was like, "That's." I was like, "I've been in the queue." And he's like, "Go around," and he said something to his other mate, and they're like, "Go around the queue." And I was just like, I was like, "What? I'm in a weird situation here." It's like, "I've been queuing, like, I'm not gonna go and queue. I'm not gonna do 40 minutes for a
Yeah.
drink." Um, yeah, and he was just being weird, and I was like, "Mate, honestly, I'm really chilled, but I'm not I'm not queuing another 20 minutes to get to the same bit." But, yeah, he made it awkward. Funny,
Like,
funny.
it's surely how far back was he from you?
Oh, mate, he could see me. He just yeah, I think he was just trying to I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, it's just like, "Go, go, queue, queue," and I was like, "I've been queuing." And the girl next to me was like, "Yeah, he's been queuing."
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, then there were but and I if I know, I was just it was just weird because I was like, "Well, I want my drink. I'm not
Mm.
gonna queue again." So,
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck that.
they sorted it in the end, but just, yeah, weird experience.
It's just like an unnecessary no, it's not even inconvenience, it's just an unnecessary event to happen, like, you're literally there on Christmas Day. I just can we just chill
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, it just made me laugh 'cause I was like, I'm in a beautiful location looking at the beach, like, I'm really chilled and happy, and obviously I just want a drink, but all of a sudden it's turned into, like, I'm now getting angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I, like, annoyed at myself 'cause I'm getting angry. I'm just like, "Mate," and it took about 4 times. After I was just calm, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'll definitely not gonna queue again. I would like my drink, please."
Yeah,
And then after the 4th time of me adamant saying I have been queuing, he just gave me the drink. But, yeah, weird.
fucking hell. And you just like in the back of your head, you're like, "I paid for this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
this experience
yeah,
I'm going through right now, I paid for."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
funny.
dear. Uh, welcome to everyone in the chat, by the way. Sorry, I've not just been engrossed in Dan's story. Uh, 450 quid. This is Ashton Mitchell saying this. 450 quid just for a park is fucking absurd. Almost as bad as 15 quid for a carbonara at Centre Parks. Yeah, it's quite an expensive carbonara, but it
Yeah.
was all right. It was all right. Just to give everyone a quick update on Jordan, it's not looking good, right? This is
Oh,
what he
no.
said. He said whatever he tried didn't work, and then he's just put on the phone to Virgin. So I would guarantee that whoever's on the end of the phone at Virgin, you're getting an absolute fucking mouthful from Jordan. 'Cause he
You're
does
so
like to have his internet, fairly like connected would probably be
yeah,
the correct word. But yeah, if he's not able to join, I'm probably just gonna have to do a on the fly episode because I was gonna do as you were back and we were back as like the trio. I was gonna go back into the list of games that we've got that feels like it's never ever gonna end. But yeah, we'll just carry on talking about maybe
Oh,
holidays, Christmas is away, whatever. I mean, I've always liked the idea of going away for Christmas, but it's weird when I think about it because I feel like, and I don't know what it was like for you at Mexico, but obviously different cultures, different countries celebrate Christmas differently. Some of them don't celebrate it at all.
mhm.
What was like, did they do anything especially for Christmas? Do they celebrate Christmas quite like passionately in
Not
Mexico?
really. I tend to find other countries don't really as much. I think where it's cold, you just in your home in the UK, you just kinda really embrace it, don't you?
Yeah.
Maybe Europe does, but I remember my first trip away as at Christmas. First one of them. Oh, well, I remember in Australia at Christmas, and that was mad because it was, like, so hot. And
Yeah.
I've done a few hot Christmases now, like, on the beach. So, like, on the we made, sand snowmen on the beach in Mexico,
Nice.
and they brought out some spray and they did, like, a little competition. That was as festive as they got. Yeah, it's always weird, and it never just feels like Christmas, if I'm totally honest. Like, when it's hot, it just doesn't like, you can't even really get excited about it. There's no real decorations about, it's just
Right.
I think we in the UK, we just get into it because it's like, it's a miserable month. We know
Yeah.
January is gonna be awful, and we're just like, "Let's just go full ham December because January is just shit."
Yeah.
We just gotta get through it, and then February is not much better, but it's a short month, and then March, it starts a bit milder, you get a few odd sunny days, and then we're kind of into, like, the spring, and everyone's sharpening up a bit. But what's up it's the thing, isn't there, in January? Is it like the Blue Monday or something, or I just the most
Yeah, yeah,
depressing day of the year or something?
yeah. I can't remember if it's the first Monday of the new year.
Yeah.
Might be the first Monday. Um, I think I can't remember if it was this year. It was Monday the 1st this year?
Yeah, it might be the one
Yeah,
after.
so I think it might have been the 8th of
Yeah, yeah,
January.
that sounds like a shit day.
Yeah. I mean, to
Oh,
be honest, every day in January is a shit day.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
'cause it's I mean, personally, I went absolutely fucking just ham at Christmas, like everyone probably does.
yeah,
Uh, but I'm going to the gym, I was, like, at a point where I was like, "Okay, I can see progress now." And as soon as I'd say around, like, the 23rd, 24th came, I was like, "Switching off. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Christmas is coming." And it took me to the end of January to get back to where I was, before Christmas at
Oh,
the gym,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
It's
is
one
just
of those.
awful.
Yeah, I never do resolutions in January because it's like,
Yeah.
the stats say you fall off by, like, 1st of Feb or whatever. So I actually what's it's the 1st today now. I tend to do mine the 1st, 1st of Feb, and then kind of I kinda get a bit of momentum with it. But I did, like, everyone's done dry Jans because I had a year off drink, I've done drink Jan.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've just, like, yeah, I've just been caning the drink. Um, and I might do dry Feb, I don't know, but it's actually gonna be really hard now because 'cause I've had a month. I've just got right back into my Guinnesses.
Oh,
Um,
right. I was gonna say there's, when people say they've cut drink out for, any length of time, you always notice there's, like, a go-to drink when they break.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
mine was Guinness, man.
Guinness.
I had one today. So
It
I'm
sounds like
like,
you want another one.
yeah, I do. I could actually do one now. It's like, do you know, it was so easy just to not drink for ages, and to the point where I had, like, say I did a whole year without drinking. I did have the odd one. Like, I had one Christmas day. No, in fact, I had a couple Christmas days 'cause I was on holiday.
Yeah,
So there have been, um, I think I did like 6 months completely dry, and then someone bought me one on my birthday.
right.
So I had one, and then but I hadn't been drunk, hadn't had more than 3 drinks for, like, yeah, a whole year, um, which was mad, really.
That is mad. 'Cause I remember when we were in the studio, it'd be very common sight for you to just crack open a couple of beers whilst we're recording,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you had the phase where you started drinking the 0 alcohol ones,
yeah.
for a while, and then you kind of just said, "I don't wanna drink, alcohol anymore," for a while. But yeah, it's,
Yeah, yeah, I think I've done I go through, like, stages of, a year as a I'll say, like, it was a year of giving my liver a complete break, really. But yeah, and it's bad, isn't it? Because it's like a month back on, I'm like, "Oh god, it's good."
I missed it so much.
I miss it so much, yeah, so you have to be careful. It's just like I think half it's habit as well, like, it's just a go-to if you break it out. Do you drink, have you had dry Jan?
I I must yeah, I must have done because I don't drink alcohol a lot anyway. The only time I really drink alcohol is when I'm going to someone's birthday or Christmas. That's basically it. So
Yeah,
I did drink a bit over Christmas, but ever since New Year's, I don't think I've touched any alcohol.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you've done dry Jan without,
without
with
even really noticing that I've done it.
yeah. I've seen a few memes about, like, dry Jan, and it's like, it just when people do it, they just need to tell everyone.
Yeah,
It's like, but like not even. And I get it because if you do drink a lot, it is a good achievement, like fair play. But yeah,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
it is funny when you see when it's not even relevant. Someone says something, oh yeah, yeah, I'm doing dry Jan. So yeah, didn't even ask.
Didn't ask, but yeah, it's I don't know, I just feel like, there's not really been a stage in my life where I've drunk regularly, to be honest, which is probably for the better, but to be honest, it's like I feel like you go through stages
Mm,
like you have. Like there are periods where I'd have more alcohol and then not touch it for ages and then
mm.
just have a bit again. It will honestly just depend on socially what lines up, like in
Yeah,
terms
yeah,
of
yeah,
birthdays, celebrations, whatever happens. But
yeah.
yeah, I know you did like a good drink.
Yeah, I think it's all to do with, like you say, it's like routine. I remember in Australia because they love like a social beer, and it was so you'd finish work and we'd always crack open, like it was culture to have at least two or three after work.
Yeah,
So I'd have I'd have like three or four, and it's all back lanes, so like you drive back from there to
right.
the backpackers. No, I mean it's desert, so there's nothing about
Yeah,
where it's just like in Broome. Um, and then, uh, and then you drink back there as well, and that'd be, like,
yeah,
most nights, and, yeah, so, like, you go to when you're kind of backpacking, you kinda drink for, like, a year solid,
mm,
but obviously you come home and then you stop, so you're not like an alkie or anything.
no. I feel like that that was more, especially here as well. Like maybe your generation and backwards, it was more acceptable and more normal just to go to the pub after work and just
Yeah. Yeah,
have.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people still do it, even
Yeah.
people my age. But I think it's more like socially normal to just go and do that.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, I think it is a generational thing. I do feel like it like, that sort of thing is fading out. Even, don't know about when you grew up, but, like, I remember kids would be hanging out on the streets drinking,
Yeah,
and you just don't like I just don't see that anymore. I never see gangs of kids out and it's a good thing because 'cause they're, like, pain in the arse. And I guess it's dependent on places, like, some places, obviously, you do get that, if they've got nothing to do, whatever, but, like, when I remember when we were at school and stuff, and it was like everyone would be out on the weekend just drinking Friday
yeah,
night, spending their dinner money, or just causing havoc. I
yeah,
guess there was no no social media, no iPads and stuff, so that's how you socialized.
yeah. I do remember hovering outside. Not too obviously hovering outside like a Tesco waiting for someone who was, not like didn't absolutely hate the fact we were anywhere near Tesco and
Yeah,
offered
yeah,
extra money if they just got us a few drinks,
I
uh,
know.
a few
That's
times.
so funny. You put like, thinking about that generation, if you were like, I don't know, if so obviously happened when you were younger and me too. You probably could have made a killing if you just went around just
Oh, yeah.
shopping. I mean, it sounds a bit pedo-y, but if you just like, add a fiver on to every 20 quid, and just buy kids alcohol. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
ethical at all.
it's
Um,
definitely not.
but you could always find someone to do it
Oh,
because
yeah,
they went through the same thing when they were
yeah,
young. So they're like, oh, like fuck it. Or there's usually, usually that weird old guy who some of your mates know they get and like you just think it's cool when you're young, but you're like, why why was that 45-year-old guy constantly buying teenagers alcohol and like you could go around his house and you could drink around his house and you're like, when you're young, you're like, that's
oh,
cool. Like, oh, I met there's a guy called John. My parents would never let me go around. There's like four of my friends, and he had all the latest computer games, all the Mega Drive games,
wow.
and then everyone, the four lads would always go around and play all the new, and he always had the newest games, and like they would stop over and go around his house, and obviously my mum and dad were like, no, and I was always so angry because I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck, I want to go
fuming.
around John's. I
Yeah.
want to go around John's because he's got all these cool. And my mum and dad were like, "Who is he?" And I was like, "I don't care. He's
It's
fucking.
got the latest games,
Got,
mum.
yeah, he's got some Madden '96. Like, stop being there. He's probably just a raving pedo."
There
Uh,
always was that person though. I
I
remember
who's that guy?
it weren't necessarily video games, but you always used to see where I used to hang out when I was a kid. There used to be an ice cream man, right? And
Ooh,
this would be throughout the year. Apparently, this happens like without what I'm about to say next. But apparently, ice cream like sellers and vans operate all year round. Didn't know
oh,
that.
no.
I don't understand how the market's there
Yeah,
past like September or
yeah.
October. Anyway, yeah, year round, where I used to hang out with as a kid, you just see this bloke pull up in an ice cream van, and the rumor was that he wasn't selling ice creams, right? So I never bought anything from him myself. I didn't really want to associate myself with him, but he did look like a bit of a wrong 'un.
Yeah.
Catch a glimpse of him, but yeah, apparently he was selling like tobacco, maybe some other stuff
Oh, yeah, yeah. That is
on the
common, I
side.
think. Yeah.
But it's
One.
so weird, like, that's the market that he goes into after realizing that ice cream business isn't probably paying that much. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I've gotta do something, you know? I've gotta do something.
It is weird, isn't it, as a kid, like, when you look back as I remember we had an ice cream man, and then one day he was like, "Do you wanna come in and do your own ice cream?" And I was like, "Fucking yeah." I was like, "So cool." And I was in there doing and then, like but now when I think back and it was fine. I think I assume he's just a nice guy, but part of you thinks, if some guy come and did that now, I'll be like, "Oh, like, is
Yeah,
this" he hasn't asked my parents' permission. He's like, is this a start of a grooming thing? Like, you probably just wouldn't do it now, but, yeah, I was like, "This is so cool." I get to make my own ice cream. It is fun, innit? Because you just put so much onus on, like, small things when you're young. You're
yeah.
like a fiver or something, you're like, "God, yeah, you like, wash my car in your shorts for a fiver, and you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, cool, fucking hell, for a fiver."
That's mega money.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I'll do it topless.
Yeah.
I've never
I'll take my
uh,
shorts off for an extra 250. Oh, I wouldn't have a clue what's going on. It's like, well, you're
no,
offering me more money. Do you know what
you
I
know,
mean?
I'm getting £10 a car wash, I'm raking it in.
Yeah, I feel like as you're a parent now, anything like that is like
Yeah,
nipped in the bud straight away.
red
Anything
flag,
like
mate.
even
Yeah,
remotely close is just like, nope,
yeah.
don't do
And
that.
even I think about it, like, we had two young lads doing car washing, and, they knocked on our door, because I used to do car washing around, I was like, fair play.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, like just like they're like, "Can get some water?" And then I just thought, yeah, a little bit in your head sparks. You're like, "Yeah, I'll get you some water, but you're not coming in." Like, because you don't want to start inviting random kids in
yeah,
your house. And it's just like, yeah, that process jots in your head. I guess it shouldn't, but yeah, it just does.
yes. It goes there like even when going back to like, talking about adults getting me alcohol
Mm,
outside whilst I was like trying to be all inconspicuous outside like local Tesco's. Um, and I that everyone knew why I was waiting outside with a group of
yeah,
mates. We were waiting for someone to basically accept the offer of, ripping us off,
yeah, yeah,
to go and
yeah,
get booze. But there was a couple of times where people offered because they obviously knew what we were trying to do.
yeah, yeah,
It's like even that, thinking about that as like a kid, like why that person's actively made the decision to try and enable you getting alcohol.
yeah,
Probably
yeah,
for a bit of, financial gain, but at the same time, there's, like, gotta be an element of, like, "Oh, okay, why?
yeah.
Why?" Other than financial, what's your
Yeah,
motive here?
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah, and that's like that classic thing, like, about that old guy John, like, why I never heard anything happened, but I'm just like, it's fucking weird. Like, this
Yeah,
is a 40-year-old man inviting we'd have been like 12 to 14, and it was like a friend through the family, which is just like and even when I'm like back, I'm like, "Of course it is. Of
yeah.
course it is a fr like,
It's
that's
how it
all
all
entertainment."
starts.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fair like, shout out to my mom and dad, and I just remember I always get so angry, I'm like, "Why can't" like, my mate and his mate would go for sleepovers round John's,
Oh my
and
god.
I used to be fuming because 'cause I'm like, "My parents are so annoying." They're so strict, and they were literally just saving me from a fucking whatever was happening.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ashton says, going back to the gangs of youth, I'm gonna sound like a proper boomer right now, uh, them gangs still exist. I saw one group of like 14-year-olds sat drinking Fosters in the park. So
Oh, no, Foster's isn't bad, is it?
I mean, I will actually now sound like a complete boomer. I feel like, and Jordan's just joined us, so I'll add him in a second. I feel like that's now been replaced, like the drinking gangs, with people on like fucking e-scooters. Where I
Right.
live,
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
just roaming around on e-scooters. I sound like a
yeah,
boomer. I don't even care. I don't care.
yeah. There was that moped generation as well, wasn't there? That
Yeah,
did
mopeds, eh? Let's bring Jordan in. Let's see how
him in.
how's he doing. Not good. Shake of the head. He's also muted, but
Yes, he
you
is.
know what I mean. He's still muted. He can't hear you.
Is he even talking to us?
I'm gonna have to use this
He
mic then.
is.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Is that all
let's
right?
see. Yeah, we
You
can
all
hear
right?
you.
How you doing, mate? Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We
Oh,
just having a good old catch up. I'm in a
excellent.
temporary spot. Uh,
Yeah, where are you? You're in a
I'm
corner
kind of like,
somewhere.
oh yeah, I'm in a corner stroke cupboard. It's like I've got like a little desk in that here, but I was gonna see how it looked, but yeah, it looks like I'm Harry Potter. If
Yeah,
I'm
you do
honest,
look like you're under the stairs, to be fair.
yeah, it's yeah, literally under the stairs. So next week I'll probably set up in the living room, but I might have my kids might be joining in. We'll see.
Nice.
Try get them out.
So, what's in store? What you said to do?
I've had a very long day of. I'm still absolutely loving the job and that, but as this has been because I'm taking on more and more stuff. I'm learning some heavier stuff, more. Uh, what would you say? Um,
Responsibility.
more responsibility, more pressured stuff. So obviously that's feeling that a little bit. And then I come home to my internet just being absolutely just in the bin. So I rang up Virgin and they've done all sorts of resets and stuff, and it's sort of like hopefully it doesn't drop out. So fingers crossed. But I'm also on keto, so
Ah,
I'm absolutely
Oh,
flagging. Yeah,
oh,
we're on started last Monday, so I'm on day 10.
oh wow! Oh,
Yeah, I this is how my day went, right? I was like, on the drive home, I was like, fuck this. Went into One Stop, bought a dairy milk, brought it home, and I was like, no. And I put it down. I was like, no, but I was like,
I,
I'm just gonna fucking eat this because I've just had enough. The hardest thing, the hardest thing, is just between meals. Like the meals don't last long enough.
mm,
You know, because once it resets your brain on eating. I'm not eating for pleasure. I'm just
right,
eating to not be
yeah,
hungry anymore.
yeah,
yeah,
I can have like so, I can have like I don't know a load of meat and
yeah,
cheese, and then an hour later I'll be hungry. It's like
yeah.
fuck.
Gets boring. I've done the
Oh,
Atkins thing very similar. It gets like it's good for about 3 days, and then you
yeah,
just like, oh fuck me, I'll
good
just
enough.
carbs.
yeah.
Yeah.
All I can taste is cheese. Like that's all I can taste. It's just cheese.
Why does this chicken taste like cheese? Why?
Like it's just
Oh mate, I
it's,
mean, if you need cheese, I'm the man to come to. I went to Costco and I got fucking done by the. And I've
Fuck.
seen this before and I worked it out, and I can't believe I fell for it again.
oh
And so,
no.
you know the big blocks of cheese.
Yeah.
They're like next to it, they got a big price tag, and I think they should get done for this. This is up there with talk about conspiracy. It's like £7, and then in the bottom corner it's got per kilo.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like per kilo, and it shows that. And in my head, I'm like, a kilo's quite heavy. That looks about that looks about a kilo. And I bought my fucking block of cheese, thinking that's
Oh
a good
no.
bargain. I thought it'd be roughly around that, and then it was 28 quid. And I thought I couldn't. It was like so it's about your length of your fridge.
Yeah.
It slots in there just
Oh, no,
neatly.
I couldn't get it in. So
Oh,
I had to chop a chunk off, like a normal block of cheese that you would have, and I wrapped it up, and then that's how, like, so we have working cheese and then stock cheese.
Amazing.
So then we go through the, yeah, so I've still that block, I mean, it's good because we haven't bought cheese for fucking months now. But
Probably won't have to, yeah.
no, I'm still going
Yeah.
through it. We're about 2/3 of the way through. We got a bit of working cheese.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's
good.
amazing. They do get you, don't they? They do
Yeah,
get you.
like Costco,
You
biggest
think
con
bigger
ever.
is better, and it's just
Yeah,
like sometimes some there are some things that you buy in bulk is better, but
yeah.
other stuff.
It's
Cheese
just
apparently isn't.
they just get you on that like the steaks were like pork steaks like there was like 32,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, well, if we all have them barbecue, it's like so I bought them, and then we had them one night, and they weren't that great, and then I was like, fuck, we got to eat all these steaks. And my kids are like, I don't like them, and I'm like, well,
No.
now I've got 28 steaks to eat.
For the
So,
next like fucking
yeah.
4 months, you've just got steak and
Fucking
cheese.
steak and cheese. I mean, I did the Atkins, not because I chose to, because I shopped at Costco.
Oh dear.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's
Well,
funny. I'm gonna have to. I do apologise for being late. Cause I'm not gonna derail. Because I'm sure you've. I think I can see in the comments that you've mentioned it, but I have to ask Dan, how was your Christmas? I know you're in Mexico. You probably already spoke about this.
No, yeah, but it was all right. Like I say, I sound like a bit of a fucking. I don't like moaning. I'm on holiday on the beautiful beach, and it was a bit. It was average.
Yeah.
I had COVID before, went away. I got food poisoning over there. I was ill on the way
Oh
back.
Jesus.
The hotel wasn't like great, and I've been to. Yeah, it's weird because I just don't want to. Like it's. I'm very positive, and I like to like always pick the positive out of stuff. But it was just for what we paid, it was just average. And I've been away to like other places, and they've been great.
Hmm.
Like we've been away to Gran Canaria like at Christmas a few times, and that's always been amazing.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't help. Like I'd have rather just gone there and saved half the money because it was expensive
Yeah.
as well. We paid like a massive
yeah.
like 4 of us going. It was like it was near on. You pay sort of like half of a car or whatever. It was a lot of money. It was like 8 grand in total or something. So it was
Yeah.
like we expected it to be like okay, like pretty, not nothing major, but just like decent compared to like
Yeah.
the other places we've been to. But yeah, so it was just like again, lovely beach, really nice place to go. So that the weather was pretty decent. So couldn't complain about that. But just just a bit weird and quite expensive just in general. I was saying to Loz when we went out, we went to like a big water park and it was amazing. It was huge and stuff. But in my head, and it's probably a bit of my fault, I just thought Mexico's dirt cheap. And I imagine it is in places, you know, off the beaten track and you're
Yeah.
backtracking and you can so but obviously we were in one place which is very touristy, went to a big tourist attraction. It was like 430 or 40 quid or something for the day. For like
Oh my word.
4 of us for this park. It's a wicked park, and you got your food included, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like you pay that. I don't know how much. Like if you went to Fort Park and then went for like a big meal, like you probably
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that you probably wouldn't spend that.
No,
Um,
no, I don't think so.
so yeah, well, yeah, just yeah, okay. And we had a day where like they were like, "Do you want to do you want to go and eat breakfast on the beach?" We did like it's a place like new restaurant. You can have breakfast on the beach. You just got to this one. And so yeah, and my missus signed up for it. And she's like, "You got to show your you got to take your ID and your visas with you because you got to show your Amex or Visa, whatever. You got to show because they're sponsored by like those companies." And we're like, "Oh, that's a
Right.
bit weird, but we'll go." So we went, had the breakfast and that, and then we had this girl, and she's really nice. And then they're like, take you on this tour, and then they're just trying to like, then they start trying to sell to you,
Oh.
and they're like, you can do a pack, you can buy 10 grand's worth of a bit like a timeshare. You can buy 10 grand's worth of holidays, and it's like, kids are crying like, we want to get back, like, and they're like,
Yeah.
how much did you pay for your holiday? Like you're gonna be saving 2 grand. It's like, yeah, but you're asking us to put 10 grand down now, like today.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah.
not gonna do that. If it's like, are you mad? And it was a bit of a hard sell. But they were like, so they went. She was, I need to get my manager, and my missus were getting really angry. I was trying to be like civil, and he's like, I had to get the manager. And he's like, well, what's the issue? What's the problem? And she's like, look, we just want to go. Like the kids are hungry. We've been to pay for ages. And then they're like, well, we need to. So they've got the manager, and then they're like, we need to get the quality control lady to finish and sign it all off. And then she come over, and then she was like, "Oh, what is it? What's the problem?" And it's like, we don't want to fucking. We're on holiday. We don't want to be shopping for another.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really weird, man. It was like, and I guess
Was there any breakfast on the beach?
yeah, we did have that, and then they
Right.
took us around and they were showing us like these other rooms like that were really nice, and which made our rooms like even more shit. And they were and they were like, you can just stop here. It's like, yeah, cheers for that, you fuckers. This is what you could have had.
Yeah.
Even that was like a lie. It was it was weird, man. Yeah, it was a funny little place. Um,
How weird.
it was strange. Yeah, and I was just trying to, because you're on holiday, like you're trying to be chill. There's a few weird things happened, like just with the staff over there. So the lads, I was on the beach and I queued for like 20 minutes to get a drink. Like absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Got to the bar and then there's two guys serving. So I walked. One had finished, someone walked away. So I walked round, and he said, "You've got to queue." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've just been queuing." And he went, "No, you haven't." I was like, "Oh."
Oh my
And
god.
then he said something to his mate. He's like, "Yeah, go back, go back." He's like, "Go, go." Like, and I was like, "I've been queuing." And you start to get the thing in your stomach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the girl next to me, I was like, "Ask her." I was like, "I've just been queuing," and she was like, "Yeah, he's been queuing." Anyway, they were both like, "Nah, nah." And then I was like, "Right, just chill. Don't you're on a beautiful beach, like chill out." And I was like, "Lads, I've honestly, like, I have been in the queue for 20 minutes, and I thought I can't go in queue again because that's
Nah.
40 minutes I've been waiting."
Yeah.
But they just kept shaking their heads, so I had to ask her about
What?
4 times, and then eventually that day he was like, "Oh, okay," and I'm like, "Right." I was yeah, I don't know whether he just didn't believe me or yeah, it's really weird.
Man, I had exactly the same thing when I went to Barcelona, um, on that stag a couple of months ago. I was literally
Yeah,
queuing up to go into the McDonald's, and I was queuing
yeah.
to get to the self-service things. Walked across the self-service. The manager woman, obviously screaming at me in Spanish. Blah blah. I was like, whoa, 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 English, English. And then she was like, "You, there's queue, there's queue, there's queue. You can't skip queue." And then I was like, "I've just been queuing. I was stood in front of her, exactly the same as you, right? It was like she was like a 13-year-old girl, right?" The manager was like, "Was he standing in front of you?" She went, "No." And I was like, "You're believing a child over me?" Like, I just refused to move. I was like, I was queuing, but
Yeah.
I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, "How did you not see me stood there?"
Oh, mate, it's
But she was
because
making a massive commotion, like fucking hell.
it's like we're British as well, so we're very funny about queuing. Like if
Yeah,
anything, like we hate anyone pushing in.
yeah.
So we would
yeah.
never do it. And then so someone accuse you of pushing in when you've
Yeah.
been waiting.
And then
And it,
because this girl had her fucking face in her phone the whole time, she obviously didn't realise I was stood in front of her the entire time.
it's
But
such a.
fucking
Mugged
nuts.
you off by saying no.
Yeah.
I think about that and how I thought that instance of like how angry I get, and then I think uh, weirdly I think imagine the guys who have to do life in prison for a murder they didn't commit. Like
Oh
imagine
man.
like
Yeah.
not only you now in prison for fucking 20 years, like you just can sit and be so angry with the fact
Yeah.
that
I
I mean
think that is what would kill me. I think that is the element that would kill me.
it's, I've laughed, but like if anyone's done that, like that is the
It's
fucking
horrendous, isn't it?
it is. Oh, mate, I think if that happened to me, I'd get out and just go and murder like 10 people and
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
like, you've really fucked up because,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'd pick 10 not nice people for sure. It wouldn't be,
I was gonna say, like, if I was in like no parole, that's it, it's done, and I knew I was innocent, I'd just fucking murder a paedophile in the prison or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like, well,
yeah,
at least I'm fucking here for something,
yeah, you have,
pricks.
yeah,
Like, why did you do it? Well, A, paedophiles aren't good people, and B, I'm got life, no
yeah,
parole. I didn't even fucking do it, so I thought I might as well be here for a fucking reason.
yeah.
And do you know what? I'm gonna kill another one. So
Can you imagine,
enjoy
right,
that.
if you killed the convicted pedo and he turned out not to be a pedo?
Oh, he was innocent as well. Oh
Well,
no.
fucking, or you kill him, and then like a week later they find evidence DNA that you're
Oh, you're
fucking
innocent.
you're innocent, but you've killed the pedo, so you got to do
Ugh,
20 years. Like,
that's it.
Oh dear.
oh fuck.
Good hell.
Ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. But yeah, fucking yeah, that wound me up. and I was only in the queue for about 10 minutes, man, 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. It was
I know
like
what you mean.
it was the
When I was
queue
in,
thing. It's the shock. It's the shock of like that you know you're cheating the system when you're actually not.
yeah, it's like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
It must be even worse in that scenario because you've literally paid money to be there, and you're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's free drinks.
yeah,
"Motherfuckers, I've queued."
yeah. It's like when we went to Crete, all inclusive, lovely. Like, I fucking love all inclusive, man. There's just something about it, I just love it. But there was a like a I don't know, like a shack set up with some like
Yeah,
food and drinks and stuff. And it was the same there. It was like you're looking like a 30. I don't know how. I think people were all ordering like 8 things at once per,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
you're looking like a 35-minute queue. And it's just like I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
understand how are they not just like bosh, bosh, but
Yeah,
yeah, them queues they get you.
they do.
Funny.
And the problem is, like Dan said, because we're British, we're like, right, well, we all
Yeah,
know what queue is.
Yeah,
yeah,
We'll queue orderly.
yeah.
yeah.
We
Not
love
everyone adheres to that.
Yeah,
As soon as
no.
they
See, that's the thing, because culturally, something like one of the biggest things, and I think it'd be wrong to stereotype Germans.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. The towels.
The mate,
Yeah,
it is a thing.
truth. It's the
It
truth,
is real.
mate. It's not even
Like,
stereotyping. It's just fact.
yeah, it's what they do,
Yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck?
I think it's in their school system. I think
Yeah,
I think they get taught to do it.
that's it. They literally practice, and also they don't say thank you. Like, you hold the door open, they'll just walk through. So okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself then. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It is crazy, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
nuts.
is that cultural thing's don't know, like, I noticed that with some Americans, like,
Mm,
they very rarely say please or thank you. They're just,
yeah,
"Can I get that?" And they're very, like, I don't know, yeah, I found that in, like, Mexico a lot. It was very, it kinda crossed me. I thought, I wonder if, like, that's why the staff are just because the staff were, like, moody as fuck. Like,
yeah.
I always say please and thank you to
Oh
everyone.
man, yeah,
But they were just like, and then by the end of it, I was like, "Well, I've tried, and you're not saying it
yeah,
back, so
yeah.
yeah, like, fuck yeah."
Yeah, mate, 100. It's the same in Greece, man. Like, they were fucking miserable. They're
Mm.
like, I know you work in hospitality and it's not the best at the best of times, but fuck me, man. I went to Egypt and they were just happy as fucking anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Strange. It's
yeah, it
strange.
is strange, yeah, because you get to places, yeah, I've been, like, places like around Thailand and Cambodia, and, like, they've been so friendly, like,
Yeah,
so, like, yeah, and it's like, and, they work in hospitality, and, yeah, it's weird, it is weird. Even just
yeah,
the manners thing, it's like, I don't know if that's a British thing where we just, I don't know, like, I was always taught to just say please and thank you, like, it just
yeah,
sticks in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah, same.
yeah, yeah. But it is interesting.
Do you reckon, like, there's an element of like, especially if you go to places like Thailand, where I don't know how. Obviously, in terms of like the average person here, what they make in the UK compared to what they make in Thailand. Do you think it's like an element of them having to be nice because that's literally a livelihood is on the line? If they don't get customers, if they don't get good like word of mouth reviews, whatever, then that not desperation, but they need to be like on top form all the time in terms of their manners, in terms of how they serve people and their customer service. Whereas maybe people in Mexico at that resort don't really have to be. It's
Mm.
not like it's not going to impact them as much if
Yeah,
as
yeah,
people,
yeah,
oh, thank you or please or courtesy or whatever.
yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, possibly.
But I think also from a like with Thailand, for example, because that's all like Buddhism and stuff, isn't it, over there? Is
Mm.
that right?
I
And
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think, and I
yeah,
feel like that plays a big role. Like, they're very respectful to, I mean, like, the monks and things like that, and other people, just in
yeah,
general. Not even within hospitality, they're just a more polite people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that the Mexico thing. I think so that our resort, there was a lot of British, but there's a lot of Canadians, a lot of Americans, and
Yeah,
I noticed their language and kind of not all of them, but there was definitely like they spoke to the Mexicans different, like as if they were
Yeah.
below them, and that maybe that's part of it. And they just get, and then they
Yeah.
just pissed off with everyone, and they're just like fucking yeah. So like
Yeah.
you try to be nice, and they're just like one person will be nice, but 10 will be a dick. So they just
Yeah.
think everyone's a dick. Yeah. So yeah, it was. But yeah, like I say, Thailand, Cambodia was the best country for me. Like they like the nicest people ever. Like it was such going out for meals and just like it was the Chatia and it's best. Like it's one of the best places I've ever been to, Cambodia. Just because that reason, just such nice people.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Does
definitely
make a big
definitely makes a
difference.
difference. It really does because like, when we went to Egypt, like we like to leave tips to like our favorite kind of people over the course of the holiday.
Mm.
And it was a case of like, fucking hell, man, we ain't got enough money to tip everyone that we want to tip. Whereas in leaving Crete, we were like, do you know what? Apart from the cleaner guy that said hello and how are you every morning, everyone else has been a fucking knob.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we didn't. We was like, we're not even going to do it. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But like I say, you don't know the circumstances,
yeah,
and I could kind of get, with I don't know, maybe with America and because there are, I know there's tension between
mm.
America and Mexicans and the border and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Don't
maybe
forget.
media taints them, and and then they go
Yeah,
down there, so yeah, it's you don't know what they're putting up with, but it's interesting. It's like Mexico, because obviously, say like for I don't know how to word this, like Mexico, it's quite a common holiday destination for Americans, isn't it?
yeah, really coming. Yeah, so we flew
Yeah,
into Dallas, and there was like a regular flights down to like Cancun. It was like
yeah,
full. I think yeah, it's a couple of hours. They nip over. Obviously, it probably not. Well, yeah, it's still cheap for them.
mhm,
It's just not. I mean, so for instance, like I say about like stuff being expensive. In the airport, and obviously they got to import in that. But I bought a Dairy Milk, a normal little chocolate Dairy Milk bar,
yeah,
and a bottle of Evian water in
yeah.
Mexico airport. 10 quid,
Oh my
What?
god,
£10. I literally,
what
and
the
I didn't get any
fuck?
change. 10
Oh,
fucking English pounds.
that's
Jesus.
And
insane.
I was just like, okay, I can't wait to get back to England and buy a fucking. Obviously, that was I could have bought their local chocolate, and
Yeah,
I couldn't even find the local water that was always available in the airport, and I was just like shocked. But I mean, it is down to like the pound going really, really bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's true.
And it's an airport as well, and obviously they import that to there and all that sort of stuff. But still, I was like, fucking, even a fiver or maybe 6 quid, but 10 quid,
That's so steep.
£10.
Yeah,
Yeah. They make you pay for the luxuries. It's
Yeah,
not really a luxury, is it? It's just one of the most two common items in the
yeah,
UK.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's Evian, so it's like it's not even. It's had to come over from France. It's like it still has to come from France to England, and over pretty close, and throw it on the Eurotunnel or whatever. But I was just like, there's no way on this earth that it adds up. That's a tenner. I'm not
no,
having it. I'm just not having it.
no,
They were selling
no.
it per 100 grams. That was the price they saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm speaking of holiday. I'm on the 24th of this month. I'm off to Thailand for 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, so
Finally
jealous.
going back. I've wanted to go back. So I went in when I was 15 on a school um transfer, not transfer. What do they call it?
Yeah, like exchange.
Exchange. Yeah, that was really cool. And I always said, or when I left, I said I'd go back. So yeah, I'm going back,
Where are you going
which is
to?
awesome. I want to say Koh Phangan. It's
Oh,
actually an
it's
island.
one of the islands, yeah, Co's Island, I
Yeah,
think. So yeah. No,
yeah,
but is it down by the other, like the main diving islands, like Koh
I
Tao?
believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause we're going with her family, and her old man and brother love diving. They actually wanted
Yeah.
me to do my paddy to do it with them, but I was just like, I probably will do it eventually, but I still think I would die. So I
Yeah.
don't, so,
It's not a bad place to do it actually out there because it's very like they'll just get you through it, and then and it depending on the season, you can what whales can you go and see? I had it booked in, and I perforated my eardrum, so I did all the.
Oh shit!
I've got my sports diver through the army. Yeah, and I was supposed, but luckily on the whale dive they went out and the visibility was shit, and they didn't really see anything anyway. So I was like, oh no, that's such a shame, but kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
God,
try and do
so
some
we
diving
go.
out there. It was cool, man. Even
Yeah.
if you just go, obviously, if you go, what do you call fucking
Snorkeling.
snorkeling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that just slipped my mind then. Snorkeling's cool out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last time I went snorkeling was with my mate Dan. We were in Egypt, and it was like 3 days after that guy got eaten by a shark.
Nice.
And our
Well,
logic was, I mean,
yeah, the
lightning
chances.
doesn't strike twice.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
all four of us were meant to go, but in the end it was just me and Dan because Mara and Jade didn't fancy it because of the shark thing. And we like drove out to these reefs, and then it was in a massive group of people. But we were thinking back, it was fucking silly because we were like, do you know what? If we stay back, we'll be able to see all the fish and shit. So the shark had just eaten someone 2 days prior, 3 days prior, and then there we were at the back of a
Nice.
massive group. But it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
that's
really
cool.
awesome. But my theory was apparently what you do is you punch a shark in the nose. And I was like, well, because this has just happened, we're going to be ready for it. Like we're going to be alert.
Yeah,
So not only is it less likely to happen because fucking hell, how often does it happen? And we're prepared. So if it does happen,
yeah.
God, imagine beating a shark. Like a shark attacked me and I won. Oh my God, I could just see it
I
now.
can't. Is that? I know they say punch it, and I'm just like, I
But
just
yeah, could
imagine.
you get it through?
Yeah, yeah. But I think I
The
know it happened
moment.
at the beach, and that's probably where it come from. But imagine a fucking Rottweiler that is 5 times as big as a Rottweiler,
Yeah.
and you're in a park and you can't see it. You
Yeah.
got it's foggy, and then
Yeah.
that's running towards you as fast as it can,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna fucking bite you, and then you're gonna punch it in the nose, like
In
it's yeah,
technically in slow motion because of
it's
the
like,
drag
yeah.
of the water.
And
So
I
it's
just
actually just
think,
gonna be like,
yeah, but like you think even Tyson Fury, he punches hard,
yeah,
like you got to punch through water, punch a shark that's fucking flowing through the water, that's designed that can jump out of the water and fucking elevate a seal that's 3 times our weight and
yeah,
take that out the water with him. And we're like, yeah, you got to punch. I'm just like, nah,
maybe it
that was
won't.
just
But
fucking
we'll
Yeah,
see.
risky for
it'd
choice.
be nice to see the science involved in that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
However, that was come to
yeah.
fruition. So yeah, just punch it in the nose.
I think
Oh,
it's just to give you some sort of like, yeah, what should we tell them there? Punch it? Yeah, that'll do.
yeah. It's like the oxygen mask on a plane.
Yeah, it
So
is. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
to. Is it true that an oxygen mask on the plane is just to flood you with oxygen so that you
Yeah,
essentially go into euphoria as you die?
according to Fight Club, it is. Yeah, that's what he
That's right.
says.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's
well,
it.
I
well,
don't know
that
how factual that is, but
I'll take that as fact.
I'll take that. I,
Yeah,
I'm, I was down with Tyler Durden.
that's it. Yeah. Because
Uh,
also apparently, the whole like brace thing.
mm.
Apparently, that is literally. This might be Fight Club as well. I might literally just be but apparently that you're in a position where you will literally snap your neck on the seat in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, have you seen on that not a tangent, but it kind of have you seen the new Alive remake?
No,
Um,
No.
it's on Netflix. It's called. So have you ever seen the film Alive?
no, I haven't. No.
Oh, you know,
No.
mate. I mean, the Netflix. Let me quickly. It's about a plane crash, and it shows what happens when it crashes, and it's awful.
This
Um,
isn't. This isn't the one where they resorted to cannibalism to
yeah,
survive,
yeah,
is it?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that.
Oh, mate, it's great.
Is
The
it?
remake, yeah, it's in subtitles, but I would watch it with the subtitles off and just read it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Subtitles on, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't dub it over because you get the emotion more.
Yeah.
But yeah, quality, like I loved it, really good. It's very popular. It's cool, definitely worth a watch. The live film's really good, like back in the day. But yeah, this remake of it is amazing on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Is it called Season of Snow?
Um, really similar. Something of snow. Let me just
Yeah.
the
That's the thing. Yeah,
Society of Snow. I think.
Society of Snow. That's the yeah, they crashed, some of them survived and they ate the dead
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Society of the Snow, mate. It's actually a fascinating
Didn't they survive for like well, spoilers, I
long
guess, but it's
time.
historic. Wasn't it like 72 days or something like that?
Yeah. It's mad. Like the film was good. But it's a little bit Hollywood. But this feels more like a documentary.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, I'm going the film off memory from like when I was 15. But yeah, great. Definitely worth a watch, man.
nice. Yeah, I'll
There
give
you
that a
go.
watch. Might watch this
I've not
evening.
seen either, so I might have to watch both.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely worth it, lads.
Nice,
I've seen
nice.
it recommended on the Netflix tab a lot the last couple
Yeah.
of days. So, but yeah, we've gone massively off script for this one. Not gonna lie.
Did
I
you
mean,
guys do any games?
no. So the whole idea is like, oh, we'll do that. We'll do that when we all come back together as a trio, and then obviously Virgin Media happened to you.
Yeah,
And I
sorry.
thought,
Yeah.
well, we'll do that when he comes back. He
To be
came back.
fair,
It's just a bit too late.
I should have said something earlier. Like I did think, because it's the first time us three being back this year, I did think this would just be purely a catch-up episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been good.
Like,
Like it's been
yeah,
proper good to catch up. To be
yeah,
fair. I forgot I was on a podcast, then I just checked. So
yeah,
That's when you know it's a good pod.
yeah,
When we're
yeah,
talking about just whatever the fuck we want.
I love
yeah.
that.
But yeah, hopefully everyone listening and watching you enjoyed. Thanks for joining us. We might have a bit more
Reached
structure
out.
in the next one. Might be.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
We might all have a stable internet connection for the next one. You don't.
Fucking hope so.
I'll be out in the
Anyway,
cupboard.
I was
yeah.
just like, mate, I'm paying for a gig internet, which is expensive. Can you please explain to me why it's dropping out every 5 minutes? And when I do get it, and I know this is woe is me, I'll get about 350 meg, but I'm paying for a gig. That's like the key. You know what I mean? And
When you
it's like
put it into perspective, though, that's like, that's a third of what.
a third of what I should be
you should
getting.
get.
So I would
Yeah.
happy pay a third of my fucking
Yeah.
£67
Yeah.
electricity internet bill.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Imagine if
mean?
you just give him 20 quid, and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, what do you mean?
what's
Yeah,
up?
that's what I'm getting.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you mean? I have 40 quid? No, don't. Just
Yeah.
deal
This
with
is
it.
what you've been
Virgil.
giving
Yeah.
me. So this is what I'm giving you. But
no,
yeah.
I don't even really check that often, like what the speed is that I get upload or download. So I
Yeah.
probably need to keep on top of it.
To
To be
be fair, it
honest.
was only because it kept dropping out that I even looked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, this isn't right. And then yeah, it was like, oh, hang on a minute.
They probably do that a lot, don't they?
I reckon they do. Like people
Yeah,
just don't check.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they're
But
just
yeah.
they're just banking on the fact that you won't check unless there
Yeah.
is something wrong, like you obviously experienced today.
And then you call up and they're like, oh, that's strange. Let me just fix that for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, sorry.
Rarely happens.
Give him some. Give him some juice. They're like,
You know?
take some from Peter to give it. To
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, Greg,
Yeah.
turn the dial up.
Yeah.
It's fucking mad.
Oh
It is
dear.
mad. But
Yeah,
here we are.
here we are. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome Dan back to your first episode of 2024. Hopefully,
Welcome,
man.
many more. Yeah, good to have you back. It's been good, like you said.
Yeah.
It hasn't really felt like a podcast in a way. It's just felt like a
Yeah,
catch
it's
up.
nice.
But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed that, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye bye for now. See ya.
See ya.